Okay, so welcome to how to use Pixlr. We're going to be using Pixlr throughout this rest of this course, and we basically have this tool called www.pixlr.com or called Pixlr. And when you first bring it up, you go there, and it's a free tool. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's very comparable to what Photoshop does. So it's basically a nice cheap Photoshop because it's free. So I'm going to go ahead and click open image, and what I've done is I've actually got a girl's face out there. It's called practice face, that you can get off of e-learning. So I open it up, and it's just a picture of a girl. She has no makeup, and I'm going to show you how we can really kind of what they do in the real world to make a picture look better than what it is. Um, and just a side note, my good friend used to work for a company years ago that they worked on the Playboy, and he said he actually had to work on the centerfold part. Yeah, whatever. And he said you would not believe how much that picture is touched. He goes, that is not a real picture of a person at all. They've taken every blemish out. They've recolored the eyes, which we're going to do here in just a second. So here we have this girl. So she's a nice looking girl, no makeup, and we're going to basically really clean this picture up. So the very first thing I want to do is we have what is called, this is a layer. And so what I want to do is I'm going to do a right click. So this, because right now this is just called the background. I'm going to do a right click on it, and I'm going to click duplicate layer. So now I've got the exact same pictures sitting on top of each other. So what it allows me to do is kind of work with one, and if I need to get something back, I can actually kind of cut a hole in the top one to bring the bottom one through. So it's kind of a nice little safeguard, so to speak. So here we've got this girl. Now what we have up here is I've got this lasso tool. And if I click on it, it allows me to just kind of draw and capture an area like that. Okay, and but it also allows me to grab certain features. I can actually have a draw along the line. So up here it's got, this is just a freehand, and over here is called the polygon tool. Now if I click on that guy, what allows me to do is now I can actually zoom in here. I'm going to hold down my control key and hit the plus, and I'm going to zoom in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click right here on her lips. It allows me to, it just kind of hugs her lip line. I'm going to click every now and then to kind of set a lock point. So the lasso tool tries to kind of follow the line as well. Every time I click, it kind of sets an anchor point. So now I have her lips selected. Now what I can do is I can actually come up here to adjustments, and I can actually click on a few different things here. Number one, I can click on levels, and that allows me to adjust a lot of the contrast, a lot of the lightness, a lot of the darkness, a lot of the mid-tones. I can actually grab the mid-tones and grab those as well. We'll cover that in just a second. What I'm looking for is I'm going to look for this hue and saturation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use saturation, and I'm going to really accentuate the color and bring out the color of her lips. And I can actually use the hue to basically change that color to a specific color that I'm looking for. Okay, I'm going to click cancel. There's a better way to do this. It's curves, that's what I want. So I grab curves. Right now it's just set to RGB all together at the same time, so I can actually grab this whole thing and make it, you know, grab all the colors. What I want to do is I'm going to grab red. And it's doing the whole darn color. Hold on screen. I just want to do that guy. So apparently I'm going to just go with hue and saturation. Okay, that's fine. So hue and saturation, so I'm going to make our lips a lot more. I can actually then darken them a little bit if I needed to with this lightness. Again, I can change the hue. Okay, I can actually make it more red or green or whatever the case may be. I really want to stick with the red, so I'm going to stick right here in a mid-tone. Really bring out the color. When I click OK, and I zoom out, and I click anywhere else, we can see that I really changed the color. So now let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to widen my screen here. And what I want to do is I want to change the color of her eyes. I'm going to change them from brown to blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my tool, and I'm going to just grab the brown part ever so carefully. Okay, so I got that, and I'm going to hold down my shift key. I'm going to grab this other eye here as well. I'm holding down the shift key, by the way. So now I have both eyes selected. So now, what I can do is come in here to my adjustment. I go into hue and saturation, and I can change this to a nice blue. Okay, change your eye color. I can really make it a strong blue. I can make it a light blue by using the saturation here. And really bring out that blue. I can lighten them up if I wanted to. And I want to click OK. And I bring her back. If I click anywhere else, I've now changed her eye color. Pretty cool. So I can actually, so it looks, that's what it looked like. So that's what it looked like. Now that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm using this history tool. I can go back and forth and click between the different stages that I've done. So look at that. Okay, so I now notice she's got some freckles and things on her face, and so what we can do is we have this thing called a clone tool. What a clone tool does, when I click on it, it brings up a dot. And I'm going to bring up, notice I've got circles with sharp edges and with feathered edges. I'm going to grab a feathered edge. I'm going to grab a 25. I'll grab a 20. Notice I got a nice, well, let's make it a little bigger now. Let's make it 30. So now I got this dot. Now what I can do is when I hold down my control key, I put over a certain spot. Now this is a spot I want to capture. I want to capture this spot. When I click, I let go. Now what I can do is when I click on that, it just took that area I just captured with my cloning tool and just pasted it over that area. So I can come down here next to this one. Now it's gone. I can click next to this one, capture it, gone, gone. Okay. Now here's what's nice is, let's say I grab this spot right here. If I click and hold down my left mouse button, it will follow me and capture all of those spots just to the left of it. So I can grab that one. I can grab that one. So I can really clean those up a lot. So I can actually come right here. Okay. Okay, so we've got our eyes and our lips changed. We've cleaned up a lot of the blemishes. So here's one thing we can do. So let's just do this. Let's use our lasso tool, our polygon, and let's just grab her face. Again, I'm just clicking every so often to set an anchor point. Hairline's not all that important. I'm going to go way out over here and then come back. Okay, so now I got her face selected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here to this filter and I'm going to click on unsharp. Say I want to blur. That's why I want to blur a little bit. So blur. Yeah, I want to blur it just a little bit more. So I'm going to click blur again. I'm going to click blur. And blur. Now, I screwed up a little bit, and I'll show you how I'm going to fix it. But I blurred everything. I even blurred her eyes. So the whole face is kind of blurred, and her eyes and lips. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave it that as B, and then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to have to recolor her eyes and everything, by the way. And I'm going to use my eraser tool here. I'm going to change it to a sharp edge 20. And I'm going to erase her eye from what was down below there. Get the nice sharp edge there. Okay, I'm going to do that to the other eye. So I'm erasing this top layer. So now the eye is going to have all the detail. And I'm going to do the same thing for the lips as well. So I really want the detail on lips. I'm going to change my eraser, change it to about a 9. So I want to just erase just the lips. And nothing else. So I really want to see the lines and the creases in the lips. Same way with the eyes. I want to see all the details surrounding the eyes and everything else. But I don't want to see all the blemishes and all the other stuff. Okay, so think of this. Think of we've got one layer on top of another. This top layer now has a hole here, and a hole here, so we can see down below. Now if I want to change the color of the eyes again, I need to use this background one. So I click on that, and now I can use my lasso tool, and I can grab the lips again. We're going to call this review. Again, I can go back into my adjustments and I can grab the hue and saturation, and I can really brighten her lips up. I can change the color of her lips. I can make it more red. More orange or pink. I'm going to try to grab right in the middle there. I can also click on adjustment as well. One thing, it was this thing called color vibrance. It actually makes the colors more vibrant, brings out the richness of the color. Okay, then I come back up here again, and slide over. I do the same thing with the eyes again. So again, we're going to call this review. Yeah, you're going to find out that in the real world, not a whole lot of pictures. Oh, needed to. I don't want that. To deselect the color, this black in the center, I'm holding down the control key and doing the same thing. Shift allows you to select the same item. Control allows me to just deselect that item. So now I can go into adjustments, hue saturation. I can make her eyes really blue. Notice it didn't change to black. I'm going to basically make them really blue, and I'm going to lighten them up a little bit to where they're almost magical. Okay. So we take a look at her. We notice all the blemishes are gone. And if we come all the way back up here, let's do this. Here, go to background color. Oh shoot, where's my history? Okay, so there's our picture. Not much to look at. Again, we've blurred the face, removed a lot of the blemishes. I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up that same image again, and let's do a comparison. So kind of a side by side here. So we can really modify a picture and make it, and just really change the outlook at all. Make it look like she's got lipstick on. If we wanted to add eyeshadow, I've never practiced that before, but there's a way to go in there and make it look like there's eyeshadow. We can make our lips look more glossy, look more shiny. There's all kinds of different effects we can go in and basically really change this picture and make this person just more artificial. So again, play around with that, have some fun. Really just kind of get some practice. Go out there on the internet and do some search on some of the different things you can do with Pixlr, and it'll really change all of your pictures. Nice thing with Pixlr, it's got a red eye removal. It's got all kinds, so you can actually take a picture. For example, I had a picture of a raccoon. We went camping. There was this raccoon on a garbage can, and it was really dark. And what I was able to do is I was able to come into this adjustment and click on my levels, and I can actually bring, I can darken a picture, or I can lighten a picture. Now that makes it too light if you grab that one, but if you grab this mid-tone and drag it over, that grabs, and that will really take a dark picture and make it lighter. So again, have some fun, play around with it, and if you have any questions, give me a yell.